Welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. We got the whole gang here today for Christopher Nolan's 12th movie, 6th movie shot on IMAX film, and that is Oppenheimer. And a little synopsis of Oppenheimer. During World War II, Lieutenant General Leslie Groves Jr. appoints physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer to work on a top-secret Manhattan project. Oppenheimer and a team of scientists spend years developing and designing the atomic bomb. Their work comes to fruition on July 16th, 1945, as they witness the world's first nuclear explosion, forever changing the course of history. And if you guys want to, I mean, we could just start off by, you enjoyed it?
Usually we end it like,
all right. Did you guys like the movie? Of course we all like it.
First off, we have to fucking get into what happened to us when we watched this fucking movie.
Someone can go ahead.
Really quick, though. Really quick.
Right, quick little recap of our first viewing experience.
Let me say something. It is a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 93 audience score. Okay?
Solid.
It's starring Cillian Murphy, Florence Pugh, RDJ, Emily Blunt, Jack Quaid. We got Matt Damon as well. Pretty much every actor
from Rocket Rules. Yeah.
Pretty much every actor and actress in existence here. So,
all right. So okay.
Cast.
We have a little story for you before we get into this fucking movie. Yeah. So here in Michigan, we were blessed. There's 2 theaters that could hold the 70 millimeter. I found out one is 15 minutes away from me in Grand Rapids. Like I go to that theater all the time when I go to movies out here. That's one. The second one was the Michigan Science Center. A good old Michigan Science Center.
In the heart of Detroit, Michigan.
Right across from the DIA. I don't know how I looked past it my whole life. Never knew that was fucking there.
Never been.
Sick. Yeah, no, it looked cool as hell. But we found out the week prior from our good friend Cody that, hey, they have 2 theaters. One's an IMAX, one's an IMAX that's in a dome. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, to our surprise, we come strolling in. We're all happy to be there.
14 people
deep. Goddamn dome, dude.
A dome.
It was a dome theater IMAX with probably, how many did that fit? Probably 60 people? Not even?
Yeah, we were in there pretty deep.
No, probably
70 or 80.
Oh yeah, I'd say
I'm
75.
gonna guess.
That theater looks
75.
so small, man.
69, my guess.
And 2 is first come, first serve, we should say.
Yep.
So,
we got there about an hour early. Showtime was like 8. I got there at 7 on the dot.
No previews, which was nice.
No previews.
Yep.
Oh, I did have that nerd talking to us.
Yeah, the girl was talking before, and she, she just keeps spieling about how this is how Christopher Nolan intended you guys to view this film, going on about it. We see this dome-ass theater, and we're hoping, praying that it's gonna scale it down.
Let me
it's
paint
gonna be
the picture.
viewable in order for all of us to see.
Let me paint the picture. You sit down. Your knees to back of the chair in front of you.
At least the chair though went all the way back.
I think mine was fucked up because mine didn't. So
picture yourself, if you're a listener, getting in like a subcompact car in the back seat, and the driver's got the seat all the way back so they can fit in the car.
I'm sitting in a
You're behind
car.
Your knees are jammed up against the seat in front of you, and you're surrounded by screen. On all corners, your peripheral vision is surrounded by screen.
We didn't even know that it was screen when we're sitting there, because we're sitting there and it's all red. And we're like thinking about it and thinking like, how the fuck is this going to work? We're all asking each other. Josh, you were the one that went out and talked to the worker, right? When you were going to get snacks or whatever?
Yeah.
And he
said that it covers like 90% of the dome that you're in. I'm like, whoa.
So wait, hold up, Aiden. I was sitting on the end seat, probably like 15 rows up here, okay? I swear to God. Yeah, not even. I swear to God.
5 or 6.
Okay, there was only like 6
I
rows
just turned my head like this. I turned it about 45 degrees to my left here, and I still could only see about 40% of the movie right in front of me, and then I seen about 15% in my peripheral. And then the rest of the movie, I simply could not see because I couldn't view. I had to go cross-eyed, but my eyes had to look out left and right. It was awful.
How we're going to do this review is Mike's going to tell us what happened on the right side of the movie, and I'm going to talk about what happened on the left side of the movie.
Well, I'm going on record saying now that, that viewing experience that we had doesn't affect my score.
No,
I still feel like I watched the entire
it's
movie.
A good fucking memory, but also that is not Nolan's vision. As soon as we walked in there, I looked at
that girl's going saying, literally preaching that this is how Nolan intended us to watch. Christopher Nolan wouldn't even go, one, to the theater if he knew it was a dome. Two, he wouldn't even step foot. He would walk up those stairs and turn right back around. He'd say, "This is
Well,
fucking
we
ridiculous."
forgot to
Take
mention.
a film
We've
with
got to-
him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say we forgot to mention that one of our buddies, as soon as the first scene popped up,
Opening scene.
literally just got up and left, and that's honest to God what we should have done.
Though, when the movie started, collectively, not our group of 14 people, 13, 14, whatever it was, the whole theater collectively bursted out laughing because Cillian Murphy felt like it was right fucking here, dude.
That's the thing, is that you couldn't even tell that it was Cillian Murphy because it was so fucking wide,
nose.
and it was like
Just nose.
Yeah, it, like every face looked deformed, so like you couldn't even like enjoy.
I think
the
I
movie.
seen the boogers in his nose. To be honest with you, man.
No,
I
will
do have
say-
a video too of the dome, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll send it over to Andrew.
Nice.
And you can really see us sitting
We'll
there.
put
and
the
how close
dome
we
without
were.
the movie
So-
on there.
Who
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
So, I mean, if you're in
who else
Michigan
beside
listening to
me-
this, I do not recommend going to see any film at the
Now,
Michigan
if you
Science
go
Center.
there, if you go there for like a space thing, an ocean thing,
Yeah.
go for it. An hour long,
Not for
a
3 hours. Not a
long.
3-hour Nolan movie that you
Most
and your boys are
anticipated
ready
film of the
for.
year.
Michigan Science Center, 5 out of 5 stars. Do not see Oppenheimer there.
Yep,
Everything
yep,
else,
yep.
Or
probably
any
really
movie.
cool.
Nah.
But
Or
do
any
not
movie,
see
to be
a
honest with you.
movie at that theater.
Well,
I was
again,
literally
like
going to
Brian
take a
says.
piss.
if it was a normal movie, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But this was an IMAX one intended to be big as fuck. It was a 70 millimeter film. Like that bitch was huge.
It
You said
honestly,
what,
it wasn't.
11
It wouldn't have
miles
been
worth of
that
film?
bad if they would have scaled the ratio down.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a
Yeah,
little.
it was like literally the most wide angle, most full zoom showing that you could possibly see in this movie. I don't think
Yeah,
anyone in history or in the last week saw it like in any other state, country in an IMAX that looked like that.
Who?
I think that's
who
just
else-
unique shit.
Who else went and
IMAX.
watched it 2 times other than me and Josh?
I believe just you two. So what's the perspective on seeing it in a theater where the screen is not a
Flat.
curved
Well, Mike.
monitor?
I want to ask Mike first, because Mike, did you see the 70 millimeter one, or did you just see it normal?
70 millimeter.
Okay, I kind of wish, because I saw it 70 millimeter also. Now it's not true IMAX, but I kind of wish I just went in a normal theater to see it, to see the difference from like the IMAX to that. I will say, from my point of view, it covered the entire screen. I feel like usually at the movie theaters there's still those kind of black edges around it. This one filled up the entire screen. The sound still sounded great. It felt like I was watching it in true IMAX, although it wasn't, but it's still 70 millimeter. I believe this is his first movie. I think Tenet, he did about 80% with the IMAX camera, whereas this one was 100% with the IMAX camera. You can definitely notice it. I definitely enjoyed it. I think the second time around, it was even better. You understand.
Because you can watch it.
You can watch it. I can see I wasn't missing the right side of the top right side of the movie. No, but yeah, it didn't hurt my neck afterwards. No, I understood it a lot more with the black and white versus the color, which we could explain right now if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Nolan said the black and white is like what really happened, whereas the color is from Oppenheimer's point of view and is kind of up into interpretation in a way, but still actually happened. But it's not factual, I guess. I don't know. So it's from his point of view.
Well, let me say
And
this.
I didn't know
Aiden.
that.
Let me say
Yeah, go
this,
ahead.
Josh. I do think that your neck still hurted after that second time watching. I'm not going to describe why that may be the case, but I think for
I
the
didn't
most
see it
part,
with you.
oh, it still hurt though. Don't worry, man. But honestly, I seen it at 10 p.m. last night. I was in the movie theater until literally 1 a.m. It kind of it diminished my viewing experience a little bit. I'll definitely say that. Funny thing, Rachel was there with her mom, which is funny as hell. And I seen her out in the parking lot. They're like, Michael.
Really?
I'm like, who the fuck is saying my name at 1 a.m. in a parking lot? I was getting ready to fucking beat someone's ass or something, man. But no, it was. I'm not huge on rewatching films unless they're like really good, like Interstellar. Not that Oppenheimer isn't on that level. It's just it's so recent, and I know what happens, and it kind of ruined the experience a little bit. But it still looked really good on 70 millimeter. I just wish that I seen that the first time on a fucking screen that I could see all of the movie. You know?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm definitely gonna go and rewatch it.
If you're watching right now, and we'll finish up our dome talk here.
I got one last thing before
But if
we
you're
finish.
watching
Yeah,
this
I'm
on
gonna go off on the
YouTube,
dome a little
this
bit
is
more.
how it started. You had to read the title.
Yeah, that part's
You had to, you had to pan with
Yeah,
your,
the
with your
opening
head.
the opening text,
Yeah,
you
the
literally
pan.
look left to right, and I'm
Yep,
like,
you
shit,
had
I
to
missed
pan
it. I
with
didn't
your
read
head.
it that fast.
to watch what was the text that was on the screen. So
I want to mention
Give a
too
little-
as well, being in that theater, like, I mean, I felt sick at the beginning, and there were
With
some
just the
points where
red
they
lights,
didn't do the still cams. The still cam shots were completely fine. That's like the first, like the 2 hours, like into the movie, like you're going, you're watching it, and it's fine. And then when they do that hand cam when they're running on the
Oh,
train,
God.
all that
Oh
shit,
my
I literally went
God,
like
bro.
this. I closed my eyes and I looked left and right, and everyone else was like this, hand on their laps. And I was like, God, dude, like, and I mean, especially when we walked out, I mean, great ass movie, but I literally was like shaking for like 30 minutes. Like my knees were fucking weak, and I thought I was gonna puke. Then we went to the bar, and I had a beer, and I really thought I was gonna puke.
No, I just want to
Wait,
say
wait.
I managed to
and then
fucking
Mike hustled.
get
Oh,
a
man.
decent seat. I was 6 away from the little middle thing, and with my height, bro, I was locked in. Josh 10 minutes in goes, "Hey, they said they want to go. Would you leave?" And I go, "I just drove across the state. I'm locked in now. Like I am not fucking going anywhere." And I
You
adjusted
shoulda-
within 15 minutes. I adjusted, like I was ready to go.
Well, you
I
had
mean,
a more
like-
middle seat though. We should have left your fucking ass in the theater. To be honest with you, man.
Hey,
I was
you
ready
should've-
to leave.
I was prepared to
You'd have looked
fucking
around
Uber.
like, wow, that movie was great. He's like, what the fuck?
I was
It's
prepared
all-
to Uber.
It's talking
You guys-
to
you guys
Casper
are
and the
being a
other
bunch of
ghosts.
Brian's the
babies.
only person there.
I was 100% ready to go, but like after 15 minutes, and I realized like you just got to commit to it. I was like, all right, I'm fine. I mean,
Well,
it
no,
still
that's kind of
sucked,
how I
but-
felt. I would say we were probably 20 minutes in, and I just
Yeah.
said, "Well, we're sticking to this. I guess I'll go to bed."
Yeah,
I
yeah. So
swear.
Andrew took a 30-minute nap, so he's gonna be quiet for this beginning intro part of the pod.
Well,
I was
I don't know, man.
exhausted. The seats reclining. I'm like, you know what? If I knock out and I miss a little bit of this, and I never think like that, but I was like,
I felt like they
I
barely
woke up.
reclined though.
Yeah, they
Hey, it
mine
was
didn't
just-
at all.
I
it
was
was-
like, I had to put my neck all the way up to look like.
Chewy was in front of me, and Chewy just keeps fucking going back on his chair. My
Yeah, I was
knees were
trying to
literally
do that.
cut up, and then he goes.
yeah,
and
Josh
I'm
had
fucking-
it was some girl in front of us, and she kept like moving, and her hair would like land on me and Josh's knee, and it was really, really annoying. Like it was itchy.
That girl
I
that
think
was
one
right in
time
front of
Josh
me
had-
put her hair behind the seat, bro, and I accidentally pulled it. Like I didn't notice, moved my leg, and she went like that. I was like, oh,
Wow. hey, Brian likes
Smack
pulling
the
hair.
shit out.
Brian likes pulling hair. You
Josh
gotta
did
turn
us
it
a
here first.
favor, and he just kicked her in the head and
Good
just
looks.
out bothering
No,
us.
Josh was behind her, just double choked her ass, double arm lock.
go sleep, bitch.
Yeah. She's.
I was
She's
honestly,
like
God,
this,
I was ready to leave up until the bomb. I would
Yeah,
have
me
left.
too.
I would have left any minute
It's
up
like
until
2
that point.
hours.
No, Mike, I see
Dude,
Mike
I
squirming.
was the fucking-
Mike's in
I
front
swear,
of me,
I was
right?
ready
And
to
I see
leave.
Mike like squirming, and he keeps looking back at me. I'm like, dude, I asked Dylan a million times. I'm like, Dylan, ask these guys if they want to leave, and I'm out. And then Hedvina, I guess, was on the far end between you and
Probably had the
Andrew and
best
Josh. And
Yeah.
no, Hedvina's like, I was so ready to go that entire time, and these guys didn't
Well, so
want to
we-
leave.
we
so
figured
he's
it
like,
out.
I would've
We
known
figured-
would've did.
We figured it out after the fact because we all talked about it after the movie, and it literally came down to Brian said we were staying, so the rest of us just stayed.
I know. I
'cause
said,
Again,
how
you
did
know
we
what
let
I said?
Ryan?
Wanted to.
Well,
How
I
did
didn't
we let
say, I
Brian
didn't
make
say,
this call?
oh, we're staying. All I said, Josh said, do you want to go? And I said, nah, bro, like I'm locked in, I'm good. And that was
Yeah,
it.
so then I
That
turned
was
and I go,
and
we're good.
No,
so,
but an
so you
hour in,
didn't
Mike's
ask
looking.
Mike.
An hour in, Mike's looking at me. He's like, "Let's go." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm not gonna go rewatch this movie and spend 4 hours of my life." on
Dude,
this."
you're gonna rewatch it anyway, all 3 hours. of
Yeah,
it,
but I'm gonna
so,
do it on
I
my
mean,
own time and my own leisure.
Yeah, I
Okay.
already cut out the window. I didn't have a window to watch a 3-hour fucking movie after that.
Well, and two, we should say it was like
Yeah.
sold out everywhere too that night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get a
Whatever.
ticket to that
It was
theater near
definitely
me,
an
bro.
experience.
All sold out for the week.
It was
Yeah.
an experience to say the least.
An
It was
experience.
shitty.
Again, we're
Now
gonna
we have
remember
something
that
to
for
laugh
a
about.
lifetime, dude. Again,
Yeah,
not the
that's
way
true.
Nolan intended us to watch it, but a good
But
memory.
literally, but literally
Yeah.
the most anticipated movie of the year for me personally, and I cannot fucking wait
What do you
to
mean?
go watch
Spider Verse
this
came
movie.
out like a month ago, bro.
Nah, I didn't. Even,
I'm
that was
waiting
my-
on the
I'm not a
on the
fan of it.
Marvels, man. I'm so hyped for that.
Whatever, and,
Emperor
then we
Beetle.
go in there and it's a damn dome. So, other than
Yeah, that was our experience. That
The
shit
end-
was so
The
funny
end
though.
of the dome.
Yep, the end of the dome.
Good
So-
show.
All right. What did
Well,
you
so-
guys, or if you want to go from the beginning, it's up to you. I don't care.
No, so like obviously this movie kind of jumps around a little bit, especially at the beginning. I think, and I don't know from your guys' perspective, but I feel like it almost plays kind of like a book, I guess, especially since we're following the main character
based off a book.
through everything. Yeah, it's based off the book, but I feel like it even plays like the book.
Yeah.
so it kind of jumps around from his like Berkeley days to like, when he's a student himself, giving lectures, all over the place. So I guess we could talk about it just in the order of what things happened, in real life. So when
I
he
think it
was a
starts
student,
off with fission. So
yeah, he
and
said
then
the vision,
fusion, and then
yeah, and it gets to the point where he's trying to poison his teacher.
That was wild.
Yeah. I'm glad he changed his mind on that. I guess in real life too, something else happened, but he would not that the teacher died, but in real life something else occurred outside of that. But I guess he had trouble. He was like being bullied and shit like that too in class. Like,
Well,
he wasn't
look,
well
like
liked.
Cillian Murphy lost all that weight, dude, and looks squirrely. Oppenheimer's even more squirrelier than that. Like,
Yeah.
He's
Well,
the
and I want to say
definition
too,
of a nerd.
I was watching an interview with the whole cast this morning, and I guess they'd all go like to dinner and stuff together like all the time, or they'd eat lunch together all the time on set, and they'd invite him to eat, and he'd never do it.
he was
never
just
do
so
it.
he-
He
zone.
was on a
They said
strict diet.
they said he
They
literally
said-
stuck to like salads and oatmeal.
I thought
And
they said he
almonds
would
and
eat
shit.
like one almond and water all
Yeah.
day.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember I seen something on Instagram. RDJ invited him to go out. They had like a 3-day weekend, and Cillian Murphy was like, "No, like I have 30,000 Dutch words to learn, and I have to learn them this weekend." So he stayed in, skipped the 3-day extravaganza that they had. So it's
Dude, but he knew. I mean, with all these interviews, like, because Nolan's like on literally like a rampage right now on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of them, but he's doing like hella interviews with all these other people about this movie, basically. Because I mean, YouTube's basically marketing this movie itself with all the Oppenheimer history and like the what's in the atomic bomb and all that shit.
Well,
That's
the
all it
actors
is.
are on strike, so someone has to fucking promote it.
Yeah, I
he
guess.
can't. Or when he can.
But
they
yeah,
can't.
but they go and I mean, dude, like you gotta think how much shit. Like, I mean, and especially like with those interviews with the entire cast, RDJ, all those other cast members had like the time of their life filming this. They were partying and chilling, doing all this, and then you got Cillian Murphy, who's literally locked in because this is his movie.
Well,
that's what Nolan was
His
saying
movie
too.
and Nolan's
Emily
the goddamn
Blunt's-
director, bro. You're not
Yeah,
letting him
yeah.
down.
No.
Emily Blunt said that she didn't enjoy it because they were in like a little house for like 2 months. The film it filmed in 57 days. That's how
John
long it took.
Krasinski was chilling with her too. Like they were traveling all together. He was on like the tour and all that.
100%. But I'm saying like during the filming, like they couldn't see like their families. Like like it's they were. I don't know where they were exactly, but they were in BFE pretty much.
They're multimillionaires
you do that
for 2 months,
Yeah,
you'll be
millions of
alright.
dollars. Fucking,
I'm just saying.
you'll see them in a
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
It makes a
no.
difference.
Yeah, like
Makes
Gamora
a
being
difference.
green. Ooh.
Yeah, but I think right from the opening of the movie to where like Oppenheimer, you see in his head all the atoms splitting and all that shit. I think you know right away what you're in store for. And that's just like the Nolan style. I feel like to a certain degree.
You gotta take in the opening scene in general when you have those quick edits and the cuts of the explosion, the atom splitting, all that, the chemical reaction, all that shit. And then you get the fucking score for this movie, which is called like, what is it? Fuck.
Can you hear the music?
Can you hear the music, dude? And that's fucking such a great
Which
score.
is a line
man.
in the movie too.
Yeah, I know. And who is it? Ludwig Göransson. And,
Yeah, I didn't know that, so when I went into the movie-
Hans Zimmer, but I think
thought
he's
it was
fucking
Hans
right up the
Zimmer.
I think he
parlay
leaned over
into
to me
it.
at one point. Josh said, "Is this Hans?" And I go, "I don't know, man."
Nah,
Yeah,
man,
it
he
was
fucking
really
killed
good.
it. Yeah, but whoever that Ludwig guy is, man, that shit was fire.
What,
And, I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
they just played it like
Beethoven?
4 or 5 times in the.
Hey, the meme on Twitter of them passing each other in the
Yeah,
hallways,
on the
giving each other that
escalator.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it the
So
hallway?
funny.
What is it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ludwig
the
and
score
Hans
is
looking
great.
at each other. Yeah, it was incredible. Big part of the movie. But yeah, no, I thought for sure, I was like, this has to be Zimmer, because it was so good. So he killed it. Just all these Nolan movies with their scores are insane.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's been in what? It's the 3 Dark Knight movies, right? The trilogy. He was in Inception, Dunkirk, and then this, right? And this is his first
Insomnia.
leading role in this big of a movie, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know
and
that
it
he
did clearly
actually
deserve-
filmed
did
for
well.
the role of Batman. Did you know
Oh, yeah,
that?
I think he'll win. What did you say, Brian?
He went out. He actually there's a video of him like in a bat suit, like he was going for Batman
Oh, wow.
in that universe.
Yeah, he tried out
And
for it.
then he went to bail, obviously, and then Nolan was just like, "I got this other part." Because I couldn't imagine him being
Scarecrow.
Batman, dude. Him being anyone else playing Scarecrow would be fucking insane.
I know he
think
plays
I'd
such
like
minor
him as
roles in
Batman.
all these other Nolan movies, and then Nolan said, "Hey, I got this movie for you, Cillian Murphy," and he's like every single person. That's why he casted like RDJ, all these people like, precisely just because that they have to do their absolute best in order to pick up where Cillian's at.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and
I
I
mean,
don't think
you
any
get-
of us have seen Peaky Blinders, have we?
I've watched half
I've watched
of the
it.
show.
I watched
Oh,
a
okay,
little bit
okay.
of it.
But that's
I
why
heard
that
he's
was
incredible in it.
Oh, he
that's his
fucking
best
kills it,
performance until Oppenheimer, and
Yeah, I
I
gotta
think
watch
that
that.
Peaky
Yeah.
I
Blinders
seen
is
it.
second
honestly
now.
though, but again, I can't get over him as Scarecrow. He's so fire as Scarecrow. Dude.
Yeah, but he never got his own movie. That's what sucks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he kind of did the first one. He was like the main villain. He was going crazy.
But
And then
That's still my
fucking
doctor.
the second
hopefully.
Well,
one. The
he's
second one, he's a bitch.
Yeah, the second one he
one's
just gets
nothing,
beat
third
up.
one's nothing.
He's a bitch in the second one. And him
Third
as
one is-
Doctor Doom. Him as Doctor Doom's gonna be crazy
That's-
if it happens.
Dude, that's my only fan cast that I've ever had. Well, other than Ryan Reynolds becoming Deadpool, we got that one.
all thanks to you.
No, not me,
thank
but
you,
that's the only
Bob.
one I've ever hoped for.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess to talk about a few different characters. Mike actually got up and clapped when this actress came on screen. Florence Pugh. I think
Mike,
she gave one.
standing ovation.
Well, hey, who's
Mike
the one that
said-
told us that there was like
Hey.
a 15-minute scene of him just
It was
giving
all over
back
Twitter.
shots?
Yeah, it was all over Twitter.
That never happened.
I don't want to expose Josh like this, but he literally got up and took a picture of the movie with the flash on, and he got caught by everybody in the movie
Yeah.
theater when Florence
The
Pugh
lady
came on.
told him to
All you
stop.
heard was,
Actually-
all you heard was,
Said,
oh,
"Do one more
shit."
time, you're out of here."
And then Josh went like this, and he went, and he sat right back down.
Mike, you're not that far off. At one point in the movie, although I do think it was the beginning, I don't know if she was out yet. Josh was going to take a picture, and I leaned over and I had to tell him that the flash was on. Now, I don't remember if she was
Still
out.
And thank God it was right after your nap too. Thank God, because if you were asleep, I would have been exposed. But yeah, no, she was not on screen.
Well, I don't think any of that's worse than
That would've
Dylan Hawthorne literally got up and ran around the whole dome trying to
He
chase
was
the titties.
barking, bro.
Yeah, he got on all four and started barking like a dog.
Yeah.
So I'm
where
never
was
taking
it
this
at?
guy to the
In
movies
India, where
again.
they had the black dress on her CGI'd on there.
It's like a few
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Man,
I would hate to be-
imagine
I mean, she was
walking
good.
that
Live in
arc.
India.
No, I do think for her character though she did a pretty good job, especially the
Oh, yeah.
whole suicide thing. Like that was tough, and the depression. I feel like she played it really well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she killed it.
I mean,
She
everyone
killed it.
did really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that really quick. What do you guys think about like his relationship with her, and then versus Kitty?
Well, okay, so before we even get into it, now there's something that needs to be said because he met both of them at communist parties.
Dog.
This guy was not
Yeah.
a communist. He was using communism strictly to get pussy. Like, he was there to have fun. He was like, I never got a card. He's like, what's wrong? It's illegal to get bitches. I want that on the record. That boy Oppie, bro, was slain in there.
Slayed.
Bro,
Yeah. Well, he was cheating on
unstoppable.
Kitty
Hey,
too.
hey.
Well, yeah,
Oppenheimer
dude,
was
he was in there.
geeking.
He was in there putting up numbers, bro.
Yeah, he's
and everyone's
geeking
like,
for
and
sure.
like they were all pissed off. They were like, "Well, he's fucking bitches, bro. He's a communist. He can't have that medal."
There were
That's
like
how the
4
whole
girls that he
ending
slept
went.
with in this
Yeah,
movie.
bro. I just want that on the record right now that like he didn't
And he's-
become a communist, but he did go to these parties and he did fuck communist women, but he was not a commie. All right, I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
needed to get that rant out real quick.
So back to the
I ain't
original point
communist,
here.
but this dick red.
What we think about the whole relationship with obviously Florence Pugh's character and Kitty, Emily Blunt here?
You know, for it being 1940s, it felt pretty realistic for modern day.
It did.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Well, I'll always answer or whatever. And then the don't bring me flowers type shit. I feel like I've seen Mike
The
go through
flower
that like
gag was
once
funny,
every
though.
summer.
The flower gag.
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
funny.
it's funny.
Yeah. No, I think
I
she did
think
a
I
really
think
good
Florence
job.
Pugh did a good job. I think that I mean, none of us have read the book. I mean, we obviously all know about the Manhattan Project and all that, but I feel like that's why this movie is so good and it's coming out at like a perfect time. And especially if anyone's gonna do it, let it be Nolan. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's a biopic, so I mean, it's literally just teaching you history, which is
Yeah.
sick.
And
I mean,
again,
obviously
and-
it's dramatized and stuff like that. But
Do we have Josh or Aiden, one of you? You guys have the numbers for where it's at right now? Because again, everyone at work was like, "Oh, Barbie's blowing it out of the water." This and that. And you're like, "Yeah,
Oh,
no
it
shit. It's a
is.
3-hour fucking biopic."
Barbie's
Like-
also a kids
Rated R.
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Rated R.
No
Barbie,
kid's gonna
Barbie
go to
isn't
their parents.
necessarily a kids movie.
It's a-
For the
it's a
record,
teen
we'll
movie.
get into that. But yeah, no, Barbie's well known, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to the world." Like it's a 3 hour biopic. Like they were at 300 million, I think, right by Sunday.
Yeah, but no 8-year-old's
Yeah.
gonna go to their parents and say, "Dad, Mom, take me
I
to
really
Yeah,
wanna
no,
see
no,
Oppenheimer.
exactly.
Well,
But it was so funny.
Destroyer
People
of the
talking
Worlds,
reckless.
please, Mom.
The day we're recording this,
I'll close my eyes."
Barbie's at 450 million worldwide, and Oppenheimer's at
Jesus.
220 worldwide.
It's
But,
still
my
a great weekend
220?
for
I
both
thought I
movies.
read it
but
was at
yeah, I want to say
300.
both these movies cost like anywhere from 100 to 120 to make, so they've both made a profit already. And there's no real movies that are big enough to slow these guys down coming up in the next couple weeks, so I think they'll continue. Barbie's on track to hit $1 billion.
Right.
It had one of the
And nobody
no
expected
doubt.
that, right? Like out of us,
No,
I
I mean,
didn't.
So this past weekend was the 5th biggest weekend for movies all time. So I think that, and two, you'd think like, okay, them competing against each other might hurt one of the movies. I think it helped even
Right.
more. I
Yeah,
don't think
it
Hollywood
definitely
would be able
benefited.
to.
I watched.
I don't
a
think they'll be able to
video,
replicate it.
Well, just like the
that
thing we
said
talked about
that-
during Interstellar. Oh, sorry.
Other releases may try to like kind of clone this and do like
Replicate
a
it.
double.
I don't think they can.
Double-
No, I think it
But
just works
that
with the
was-
contrast. Like the contrast is what works so
Exactly.
fucking well.
Because they're just
Yes.
polar opposites. You got a Barbie
3-hour
movie and you
biopic
got a fucking
Barbie.
yeah.
What
Like,
about
they're
Yes.
just
you?
literally polar opposites coming out on the exact same day.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I went to the theaters, and there was these two dudes dressed up in pink taking a picture at the Barbie sign. I thought that was so funny, man. Because you see people like dressing up for Oppenheimer too.
Well,
Yeah, there were people that did like a split. They had like half pink, half like black on.
Yeah, they weren't
Essentially,
even on
they
the way
were.
to the movie theater though. They were at the bar.
no, that dude Oppenheimer's dressed up. I saw
What?
Oppenheimer before I walked into the dome, and I saw that guy in the theater dressed like Oppenheimer.
No, man, that was the hat man. He took too much Benadryl.
I guarantee you,
shit.
for Halloween, we'll see couples
Yeah,
doing
can we
like
just get
Oppenheimer
big
Barbie.
ass hats?
That'd be great. That's a good ass idea.
I said
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dress up as the bomb. I'm just gonna be like fat man. Just
Yeah.
dress me up as a big nuke.
With Matt Damon as Groves, I thought his
Great.
character was pretty cool.
So
too.
I
Matt
thought-
the
Damon,
relationship they had was
Matt Damon
I thought
acted
he
his
was-
ass off. Okay, Mike.
I thought he was the
Yeah, he
second
was.
best actor in this movie, to be honest with you.
really.
I think
See?
he was right behind Killing Murphy.
Wait, what about
See,
Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
he-
Robert Downey
Oh,
Jr. Strauss.
You
man.
Three, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Three,
honestly,
I'm
it's
sorry.
insane.
Idiot, Mike.
That was
You would think that Strauss
God
is like
damn it, Mike.
the main
God,
character.
fuck.
Dude,
You don't
no,
really.
that's awful.
Strauss isn't really like a big threat until like the third act. I feel like.
Nobody
Like,
is a big threat all the way through the beginning, though. You just
Well, I
don't
mean,
really see
it's
it.
like-
His
You
name-
don't know it though.
He's not as popular as Oppenheimer.
Yeah, no
If
one
you
really
don't
knows it unless
Obviously,
you know
but
the story.
no, it's because it's the story. If you were to read the book, he's there at the beginning. I mean, if you knew history before watching this movie, you'd be like, "Oh shit." You know,
Well, that's
All right,
why-
that's
Call
like
backs.
Batman and Joker. Are you gonna call it Batman or
all
Batman
right,
versus Joker?
this is nonfiction. That's fiction.
It's
Whoa,
it's
that's
just
No,
non
back
fiction
to the
too.
question Josh asked.
No, it's
Matt
not.
Damon acted his fucking ass off, but like the real Groves, like that wasn't like a good pick just because not everyone thinks like Groves was like that. Groves was really good, like he did build the Pentagon, and he was really like he had a great relationship with Oppie. But like Matt Damon put like a whole different twist that Groves was like this ultimate badass, when in reality he wasn't really that sweet. That was the only gripe I had with it. But other than that, no, Matt Damon absolutely acted his ass off.
Yeah.
So 5 will return at the end credit scene too.
I really like the scene where Oppenheimer and him are talking to one of the scientists recruiting them, and the scientist asks like, why would he leave like his wife and kids to go to like some no name town? And like Matt Damon, like he freaks out. He's like, because this is the biggest fucking thing that ever happened in
Yeah.
history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
That
then-
was a fire scene.
And then he gave that
Matt
Nick
Damon
Fury
did a good
monologue
job.
where he's like, "I'm putting together a team."
It was so sick. And then
Yeah.
also you get to go like the callback to basically like the Dark Knight in that trilogy. When Oppenheimer, when they finally, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but when they go to Los Alamos and he's got the hat and the pipe sitting on the top of the barrel. It's like, damn, he's about to suit up. It's game over. Shit's about to explode.
Yeah,
God,
because
ain't
he's
that
dressed
bad.
like a soldier, and he wanted to dress up like
Yeah.
himself.
That was
Yeah,
also
the whole
a really
building
good
of the
speech.
town was really cool. I think
Dude,
the
And that's the thing too, is that this movie's 3 hours, and it felt different because of the dome, but I feel like it flew by. Like
Really
you're
good
invested,
pacing,
like
really
you're literally
good
invested,
pacing.
and it's even the editing, especially how like the story goes classic Nolan, where you're getting the ending at the beginning, all this, and it's just mixing, cutting all around, and then right when you like get the slightest bit of confusion, you're like, what does that mean? He ties it right up in like the next scene, so like you're never confused.
Well,
I
that's
think that's classic.
and that's what I love about Nolan movies. Like I don't know if it's my OCD or whatever, but he ties every single knot and every single thing that's open up at the very end. And to be honest with you,
I was gonna say, Mike, he does a really good job too. Like Aiden was saying, like you think it's on the screen 17 seconds later.
literally,
It's like,
man.
oh, I was gonna, and
Yeah.
there it is. Cool. I love when movies
Who's-
are like
oh,
that. I
man.
love that.
Well, it took me a second when I was watching the movie to think about the opening scene, but I forgot it was a Nolan movie, and I'm like, okay, like that is the end when obviously they showed. I'm jumping ahead here, but when they showed what Einstein and Oppenheimer were talking about at the end, I was like, oh
Yeah,
god,
it's
that
so
was
good. Such a
the
great
ending, or the
fucking
beginning
ending
was
to
the
a movie,
ending.
dude.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
he said something about me, and then the guy goes, "Did it ever like occur to you that maybe they weren't talking about you?"
They were talking
Yeah.
about something more important.
And that's the guy that plays Solo or Han Solo in the prequel. Like the origin story.
Was
He's a
that
good ass
him?
actor too. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
his
same
name
guy,
is
the same
Alden,
guy from fucking Hail Caesar.
Yep.
No way!
Alden
I didn't even
Ehrenreich?
recognize him, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
badass.
Ehrenreich, Alden Ehrenreich.
No, I mean I thought he looked familiar, but I would have never thought it was that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Nah.
Damn.
Well, right when
Yeah.
he popped up, I'm like, dude. Every time I see him in something that's not Solo, I'm like, damn, that's the guy from Solo. I have no idea what his name is. It's Alden.
Can we talk about?
Enric.
I just said that. Can we talk about Jack Quaid being in the movie as one of the
Dude, the
scientists?
cast, like all
Josh
these little
leans
cameos
over.
are
Josh
sick,
leaned over
dude.
to me and goes, "Yeah, so no one really just gathered up anyone that looked like a fucking nerd and put them in here, huh?"
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck, dude. I feel like they had him in the trailer for like, I feel like a few scenes, and we only saw him once at that Trinity test scene.
What? He was
Yeah,
in.
and
He,
even
like when
too-
they
was in
recruit him.
one of the whiteboard scenes for sure. But yeah, you're right. It was very minimal.
And they even
But
had
also-
Benny Safdie in it too. One of the Safdie brothers.
You know who I think's a really good actor? The guy that played Heisenberg. Fucking one of the
Heisenberg?
twins. Heisenberg, yeah. One of the twins.
Heisenberg.
I forgot his name. It's like a Slojan Snooty. Like he's like
Walter White.
what?
Good bit. Good
I was
bit.
dying when they said Heisenberg. When they said Heisenberg in the movie, I literally looked behind me because Reed is fucking in love with fucking Breaking Bad, and he was like, he's like fucking Walter
He
White.
never
He
put
was
together
about to
that
go.
Heisenberg was like a name that he
Yes.
took.
A real fucking
Yeah.
scientist.
He just
It's,
thought he really liked the flow of the word.
Matthias Schweihofer.
I was walking out and I was telling Josh this is now the fourth MCU hero that we've essentially seen become a villain. Because Chris Evans in fucking Grey Ghost, and then we had Chris Hemsworth in, what was that, Spiderhead? Is that the name of it?
Something.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Dumbass
so.
Netflix movie. And then I watched one
Yeah.
where Bucky was a cannibal. That was on Hulu. I forget the name of it. It was a decent watch. And then
You
this
said
movie,
Grey
RDJ.
Ghost?
Yeah. What was the name of it?
No, you just took two names of two different movies and combined them together.
That's the name of the movie, isn't it?
Ghosted is a different
No.
movie with him, not a
No,
Jarvis.
no, Grey
Yeah.
Ghost. What was
Yeah.
the dumbass fucking movie
Grey
with
Ghost?
Gosling? We were talking about
Oh,
Gray Man
sorry,
and
yeah,
Ghosted.
yeah.
You
Sorry.
took Grey
Man.
Ghost.
That was like
Oh,
one of our
bro.
first reviews. Give him a
that.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking- you just mashed it together. Shut the fuck
No,
up,
I
guys.
mean,
Took two
dude,
movie
it
titles.
shows-
Was it Daybreak or was it Date Watch? What was the name of the other one?
Day
I,
Shift.
I still couldn't tell you.
We still
Day
don't know
shift.
the name of that one.
Hey,
we
well,
haven't
man,
figured it
I'm
out.
dropping my score of fucking Thor, dude.
But no, I mean, dude, you gotta
What
think
movie are we
RDJ and all these
reviewing?
other movies that we've seen him in. We've seen him in Zodiac. Is he in Sherlock Holmes? Or is
Yeah,
it called
he's
like
Sherlock,
or
bro.
one of those?
He's
Yeah.
literally Sherlock.
And
yeah.
I mean all those other movies, but dude, you get him like he's just such a good ass fucking actor.
If,
And, like we don't get a lot of other roles with him, now that he's retired
He's
from the
Doolittle,
MCU
too.
and all that. Yeah, Doolittle, but all that stuff. Like I mean, I can't wait. Like I feel like he got that, kind of like that taste for it, and now he's just gonna go out and everyone's gonna go cast him.
And two, if you think about it, he's barely in the movie, really, but he steals the show whenever he's on screen. And like,
100%.
I think it's something too. We'll look back on this movie years from now and be like, "Damn, RDJ was so good in that." Like, you'll remember RDJ,
Yeah.
especially.
Would you
say
say
as
out
a
of the
villain.
whole 3 hours, like what, 30 minutes of the movie, maybe a little more?
Maybe not even
No, he's
that.
he's probably
Yeah,
he's
probably
in there
not
more
even.
than that. I think.
Not really. If you think about it, he's at the very, very beginning, and then there's
seeing it
the
once in that pacing.
hearings.
But they
I like
keep
how
doing,
they-
but the editing, they just keep showing space.
I like how they mentioned too that like it had been so long since someone hadn't been confirmed by the Senate. Like it was basically like you're there. This is a guaranteed job. You just got to get up there and smile. Like like the president wants you on the cabinet. Like the Senate's gonna confirm you. You got the job. And like you can slowly see he realized like I ain't getting the job.
Yeah, he fucked
Like,
up.
like he understood even when they deliver the news there at the end. He's like, so, not it. The guy's like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, and to talk about Rami Malek, who's been in countless things too.
Dr. Hill.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, Mr. Robot, everything. He's a great actor too, and the fact that the two first scenes that we see him in, he doesn't even speak. He gets his notes knocked down by Oppie the one time, and then the other time
No, it was the
he's told
petition to not drop the nuke.
Oh yeah. So like, both scenes we see him in, he doesn't speak. So then he comes in for that big scene at the end. It's like, holy shit! Like that scene was
He
awesome.
just comes in and goes crazy.
Yeah,
is
so you're like,
that,
that's
yeah.
why they got that caliber of an actor to do that role. Because you're like, why the hell is he even in this movie?
Dude, there's
So
so
I thought it
many
was really
good
cool.
actors. There's so many
Yeah.
good actors. So one thing I want to talk about too here is the different looks that Cillian Murphy had throughout his when he was younger, when he was older, even like when he was getting like his the prize at the White House, like the attention to detail that took for each like age was actually insane. And I truthfully believe that he looked all of those ages. Like it didn't look like it was like a really bad like
Zero CGI.
older version of
You
him.
got,
Yeah,
you got.
it was-
I
it was
gotta
zero
play
CGI.
devil's advocate and counter your attention
So
to
the only
detail.
one that-
The star
yeah.
thing, I saw that post where they brought the.
I'm not talking. 100%. Yeah, they fucked up with Hawaii and Alaska. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about that. I'm saying just like with the aging. I think that
Oh
it
yeah,
really
no, it
good.
was perfect.
Yeah,
What did
my
they
opinion.
fuck up?
perfect.
I feel like I didn't see too much of a difference until they did do the end where he got the award, and then the older one was like, that one was really good. I feel like the rest of it, he's kind of looked the same to me. But also, I did
Well,
watch it in
when
the
he's-
dome one time, so
When he's in the interrogation room, he has white hair pretty much, and then it's obviously full white when he's older. But like when it's the colored version, and you're looking through like his eyes and in his interpretation, it does not look white one bit. Like he looks younger, in my opinion, at
Yeah.
least.
No, I
Do you
think
wanna
they did a
explain
good
the
I
job
stars
think
thing?
we're
with
saying
aging them.
like different
Andrew?
parts like earlier. My fault. I see what you're saying now, Mike.
Andrew, what was the thing about the stars? I didn't see it.
Oh yeah. So in when they were in that speech, how they dropped the bomb and it was a success. Everyone's waving a flag. Well, it's the modern flag with 50 stars on it, but our flag then didn't have 50 stars yet. Alaska and Hawaii weren't even states,
Oh my
and
god.
they apparently
I know.
missed that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is we were sitting in the movie and me just being a weirdo. I actually thought that. Now I didn't pay attention enough to notice, but
I heard
went,
you counted
I
all
wonder
of them.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Pause, please pause. No, now I don't know how anyone actually did catch that, but I did think it. It
Well,
was
the
a
damn
thought in my
screen was so
brain.
big, so I honestly
I was like,
believe
I wonder
that
if
you
they were.
counted them.
The
I was like, I wonder if they
49th
spent.
state was across the map.
I wonder if they spent the time to find a flag with 48 stars. I'm like, I thought about that. Like,
No.
that's got to be
No
hard
one
to
actually
find.
didn't
Now they
have
did.
the budget for that.
Yeah.
everyone
Honestly, if
was
you asked
bomb.
me, probably like, honestly, I didn't give a shit. But
Yeah,
okay.
probably.
Yeah,
But no,
I
I wanted to. What are you gonna say?
Little
Josh?
detail, just to.
no, you got
Oh, that'll probably knock down my score. I was gonna give it 100, but that'll probably knock it down.
Probably
like
just take it 1 point
97
down.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm giving
No,
it 3.
I want to mention just the part in the movie where Cillian Murphy or Oppenheimer's out, in the ranch, like riding horses in what's soon to be Los Alamos, but just how fast that they go and just like. Because it's historic, like it actually fucking happened. Like you rarely get to watch a movie and be like, "Wow, like this is accurate." This shit actually took place. But when they go
Interstellar.
and just build, when they go and build, yeah, we haven't got that far yet.
Yeah.
But when they go and just build a town, Los Alamos, out of nothing, just to go, make this Trinity test
Well,
to test
that
this
was-
bomb
that was
they
like
have no
the
idea what's
right-
gonna happen.
That was the right way to do it. Like, if you look at what was happening in the rest of the fucking world at this time, like, the Nazis are on the run basically, and they're ready to like collapse at that point. And that's also when they start spewing that Japan's ready to go to war. Japan technically had all the stuff to do it. They just didn't think that America and Russia would be able to put anything together. So they were taking their sweet old time. So I think that's what makes it really fucking cool. And Heisenberg, actually, there's the story of Heisenberg when the fucking Germans finally fuck off and leave him alone for a couple months. And in these couple months, he makes a significant amount of progress. I mean, it's minuscule compared to what America was doing, but him having the time to just sit there and do his fucking job came a long way. So that's why, though, the whole idea with Los Alamos was fucking beautiful. When like putting the best minds together, and like Groves essentially being like, fuck, like this isn't protocol, but we need this fucking bomb because if the Nazis get it, everything's going to shit. So like that whole idea was just so fucking sick, dude.
Imagine
the
if
scientists that were with Oppenheimer, like, you know, that created this atom bomb, most of them were Jewish too. So like Hitler wanted nothing to do with them, and he went and like
there was
that was the thing that put them back.
There was one guy in there that remember he said that he's like, "Oh, you're German," and he's like, "I was until Hitler told me I wasn't. I moved here."
Well, it's because the first guy they come out with the fucking like science behind it. They labeled Jewish science, called Jew science. And they wouldn't use it. They wouldn't use any of it because they were like, "Oh, fuck that! A Jewish person made it. It's wrong." And that's what put us ahead at the same time. Like it catapulted us ahead because we're like, "Holy fuck! These idiots aren't reading like actual good science."
Well, they were like Germany was like what, like 12 or 18 months ahead, and then that's when Oppenheimer talked about like, "Hey, like we label this Jewish science, and that's what's going to keep us in this race." You know, so that's I thought that was really cool actually. But what you're talking about, Andrew, is when Oppenheimer was talking to that one scientist. He's like, "Oh, you're British, British now." He's like, "What happened when you were? What happened?" He's like, "Oh, I turned British when Hitler told me I wasn't." Yeah,
I was no longer German.
Which
He's
also
like,
was cool
British.
because they weren't even supposed to get that scientist. It was unsafe. It was deemed unsafe for him to come.
Well,
overseas.
he turned out to be the rat.
Yeah, he was the rat.
But he
was
gave
the
some
rat.
insight.
But he still was the rat, man. He gave Russia some fuel.
Was a stupid
Yeah, he gave
rat.
some insight to Hitler.
It was to the Russians,
really quick
to the
too.
Russians, not Hitler.
Yeah.
Russia was
really,
Russia was kind of on our
Goddamn
side at the
commies.
time.
Can we
Sort
talk
of.
about just like living in this era, like just the arms race? Like, can we talk about how like anxiety ridden that would be, like knowing that any day like you could pretty much like die if
Michael,
like
what do you mean? We are living. That's what
now.
the ending of the movie is. That is now.
No, you're talking
No,
about
I understand
pre-nukes.
I'm like
No, I know what you
pre-nukes,
mean.
I'm
Like
saying
the
just,
race to
okay,
like,
yeah.
like the
race
A
to
bomb
the
and the
nuke
H
bomb.
bomb,
Yes.
like that shit is like just mind-boggling to me. Like just like everybody in the world pretty much aiming just to get like the lead in like this race.
But see, what's crazy is they were actually pretty good at keeping some, like most of it under wraps as to where they were. It was just everyone in the science field fucking knew about it. They knew something was going on, and then like the people around Los Alamos knew that there was some type of scientific experiment going on, and that was about it. But like the general
the worst
public
part,
was
too,
just
is
kind
that-
of off doing their own thing.
That they don't show there was a lot of families and like farmers and stuff out in that area. I mean, not a lot, but they went and like the government literally said, "You got 2 days," and if they didn't like abide, they just picked them up. Like they said that they killed them, like did a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah, well,
Like,
again,
you know, they
it was
just
kind
go
of
and
it was
take
hinted
'em
at
out.
when they were like, "Well,
Them.
who else is out here?" And they were like, "The Native Americans," and like everyone just kind of went.
And they literally just
like,
took
"Oh, drop
every
it."
single. They literally just took everyone out in that area and then built
Well,
Los
yeah,
Alamos.
let's talk about the whole Trinity bomb. I feel like a lot of people went into it thinking this was a movie about the bomb for some reason when it's literally titled Oppenheimer and it's about Robert Oppenheimer. I saw that some people online were upset about it. We've been hearing that he doesn't use CGI. He did not use any CGI for this movie. I know he said in one of the interviews that like they perfected like basically blowing up something smaller but making it look bigger, which they definitely capitalized on. And I thought the whole
Wait,
bomb.
they didn't use a nuke?
No, they did not.
That cheap
Believe it or not.
Boo.
Yeah,
Wow.
so there's some aspects of the movie I didn't know before seeing it. I thought the Trinity test was in the water, but that was for the hydrogen bomb, which was in like 1961. They tested it out in the water, so I didn't know about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the whole aspect of it actually blowing up, I thought was incredible, not just from watching the bomb actually blow up, but watching the characters' reactions to the bomb blowing up. And I don't know what you guys thought of it, but I thought that scene was like amazing.
Well,
So,
that was like that scene was fucking insane because even in our theater, bro, it was so silent. You could hear a pin
Dude.
drop. Like nobody was talking, and then it was like what 30 seconds to a minute of just pure silence, and then the sound catches up to the wave, bro.
So,
Holy
dude, that's
fuck.
why, I mean, everyone's sitting there when they do that countdown, the timer starts ticking from 60. Like, you're literally bracing on your seat. Every single person is waiting for this loud-ass explosion that's literally going to shake the entire theater. Everyone's going to go nuts. And leave it to Nolan to literally just throw everyone off. And you sit there, you watch it, you're just like, holy shit. And then the anticipation just keeps building because you're waiting for it.
Well,
you're
I
waiting
mean,
for that big-ass
you got to
boom.
think too. It was, I mean, that time lapse.
It's-
is a
yeah,
little
it's realistic.
crazy, but there was like a little bit of a gap, not quite a 60-second gap,
Yeah,
but there was a slight gap when they see it boom and when they hear it boom.
That's
Yeah.
how it is in real life, though, too. You see the light first,
Yeah.
and then the sound.
Yeah, because that was always the trainings that they did like during that time period in schools. Like basically, if you see the flash, like
Fucked.
you're done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gone.
Nah,
What
so,
about- what was
I,
the
uh,
thing- what
I
was
thought
the
that
thing
was
with the
so
thumb? Do
sick.
you remember that where it was like you could like close one eye and put the thumb, and if you were
Well, because you'll
if
be
you could
blinded by it if
see
you look at
if
it.
you could see it, you'd
Yeah.
be fucked
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I know Aiden was laughing when one of the scientists put that goo on for the UV. I heard
Yeah.
Aiden
Teller?
like giggling like
Yeah, I was kinda-
giggling like a little girl in the back.
Yeah.
It was
No,
funny.
that was probably Dylan. Dylan was like, I was like,
I thought it was funny when the guy was like, "Nah, the windshield will protect me." I'm like, "All right."
yeah,
Yeah, you
That
guys
was,
know,
that,
I
was
think
Jack,
sick
that was
because-
Jack Quaid from The Boys. If you didn't
No, he
pick
got
that
in
up.
he got in the side passenger door.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Driver's
Chris
one I'm talking
Pine looking guy.
I think that it's
Yeah.
sick that they show different perspectives too, because obviously you got Oppenheimer like close to it. Then you have the soldiers laying down at the camp. Then you have
Don't
Jack
turn
Quaid
around
and
until
Teller
it
on
hits
the
the
hill.
mountains, right? Is that
And
what you
then
told me?
you know like the sound is different. Like Oppenheimer fucking shakes, and then you know it just kind of gets lower and lower and lower.
Well, and
Just
one
sick.
thing, if you're listening and for whatever reason don't know this, the brightness of those bombs is the equivalent of like the sun being on Earth.
Staring at a solar
Yeah.
eclipse.
like the goddamn sun here on the planet. Like you can't go outside and go look at the sun for more than like a couple of seconds before your eyes burn and you can't see anymore.
Yes, as
Yeah.
the government, I'm going to stare at the sun right now, asshole.
Well,
If
one
you
thing I
stare hard
really like.
enough, you can see the mechanical parts moving in it. 'Cause it's fake.
One thing I really like too about when the bomb went off here is the just look that Oppenheimer had, just like looking at it and just like the realization, like post like the
Yeah.
explosion. He's
It
like,
wasn't as much for me as I expected, though, to be honest.
I agree for sure, but it's just kind of more so like this movie isn't about just the bomb though; it's the repercussions for the most part. I think
And
we
that's
can all
what I
agree on
really
that.
liked, Mike.
And
that
that's
you
when
can like
this turns.
you can tell that he's almost pissed that his invention worked.
Again, he was
Like,
in it
as
for
a
the
scientist.
science,
He was hoping
bro.
that it
He
wasn't
was in
gonna
it.
work.
Yeah. He just wanted it to be like a thing that they had in their hand, but never fucking used, just to say, "Hey, we did this. We fucking
Yeah.
have this."
It was that realization that his brain, I assume in real life, was like, oh no, this is not a science experiment anymore.
Yeah.
Like
You
this
see how
even
this will
since
be utilized for harm.
crazy
Yeah, but even since the
society
beginning of the
is, dude.
movie, you know that Oppenheimer's like an egotistical like asshole, basically.
Yeah.
He's a prick, and you know like he wants to be right just for his own sake. Like, oh, like I'm not a failure, but then he knows the repercussions that come after
what it's gonna be used
successful,
for.
and now he's all right. I'm fucked. Or we're
Yeah.
all fucked.
And I think my favorite scene comes right after that because we get a whole nother hour of the movie. When he goes and gives his speech in like the church
Best part of
looking
the entire movie.
dude, yeah, and the room starts to shake as he's giving it, and everyone goes silent, but they're cheering, and then you just see their face melting. I believe the first girl that you see her face melting is Nolan's daughter.
Yeah, I
pretty
read
cool.
that online too.
Yeah, so but
That
that whole
looked kind
scene
of like
was
corny
incredible.
to me, like the little
No,
flaps.
Because
The
I mean,
flaps
skin
were
would melt.
not corny, but like it just looked like it looked awful in my opinion. Like it
No.
didn't look realistic.
we're kind of
Practical
jumping around
effects.
just before what you're talking about, Josh. I just want to go because this is when they do the Trinity test, and then right after the military comes in, puts the 2 bombs that they have on the
Yep.
trucks, and they're like, "See ya, we'll be in contact." He's like, "Can you let me know what happens?" They're like, "Yeah." Like, who is it?
We asked
like,
Groves to
"Yeah,
go to
sure."
Washington. Can I come to Washington with you? He goes, for what?
Yeah,
We don't need you anymore.
So
Yeah,
that's the
which
thing.
is-
Like, they don't give a shit about him. He did them a favor, and it's a thank you.
Yeah, his
and
job's
then,
done.
Yep. And then that's when you go and they do the announcement a couple days later at Los Alamos, and over the PA, they don't even let them know like what they're doing.
Which, again, they did a good job
And-
of making him look crazy, just chain smoking the cigarettes hanging out by the phone.
Yeah.
And then they make
Yeah.
that fucking announcement. He doesn't even get the call. He just gets the announcement.
Yeah. Turns the
Yeah.
PA system up. They play it for the whole camp. Everyone's cheering, going nuts because they just ended the war, basically. And then you just see him and all. Like, the scientists are happy, but
Even Jack
Oppenheimer
Quaid though
himself
was
is
like,
just.
all right.
Yeah, he was hesitant, shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
other
they
hands
do.
and stuff like that.
Because they don't know
Do-
how many casualties, and then that's
Did
when
they
they get the briefing.
reference? I don't know the individual's name without googling it, but like the guy that actually dropped the bomb, like
He didn't
the
know what
pilot,
it was. I listened to the podcast I
Okay.
listened to weekly, did like a 5-part Manhattan Project right before the movie came out. And it was just dumb timing on their part. Like, they were like, we wanted to do this, we've had it on the docket, and now Oppenheimer's coming out. So we got to do it now so we look original. But it was very very insightful. They didn't tell them really what it was. All they knew was that it was a bomb. They didn't know it was a fucking
Drop a
atomic
bomb.
bomb because they didn't want one to like for it to freak them the fuck
Hesitate.
out, and to hesitate, and two, like if it didn't work, then they'd be like, oh, it's just a bomb. They didn't really want to tell anyone it was an atomic bomb in case it fucking failed. It's really what it came down to, which is also why they
Yeah.
didn't warn fucking Japan, because they were like, well, if we say we have an atomic bomb and then we drop said atomic bomb and it doesn't go off, like we look like
They're
fucking
fucked.
idiots, and then on top of that, we look like we were about to do one of the worst things ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I
they
don't
did.
want to. I don't want to keep talking, but I mean, dude, there's so much shit on this that it's nuts.
Well, this last
like you
hour,
said,
I feel like is where it really fucking gets like to the
yeah,
point,
it's
you
so
know?
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're waiting for it, but like in the actual like bombing, the guys go like you said, they had no idea that like what they had. They just knew they had a bomb. On the docket, like the classified documents, it says bomb type special. It
Yeah.
doesn't say anything else. And then they go,
Yeah.
they send these 5 guys up in this plane that they've been doing routes on, practicing their route where they're gonna drop it. And it was like the little boy or little whatever the original
The first one was the fat man, and then the little boy was the second one.
little boy. So they drop it and they're just hightailing it out of there. They go like, oh my god, they thought it was a dud. And like 45 seconds later, they just see a flash, and then they're just going, and only the 2 guys in the back could see it, and they're just dead sound. They're like, what did we just do? And then they're just going back on the plane. They said that once that like blast caught up to them, he said the whole plane was shaking. They thought they were going to crash. It was like they were just getting heavy gunfire, and
Yeah.
it was just an
Jeez.
And then
explosion.
the worst part is
Well-
the plane that they dropped it from, the Enola Gay. The guy named it after his mom. So like he named the
Yeah.
plane after his mom to drop the first atomic bomb and caused what
Insane.
100 and was it 100 or was it 80 in the first one? Like 80,000.
It was
It
like-
was
I think it's-
220 total.
220.
Yeah, I know it was
Total,
220
like,
total,
I
but
think
that
it
was
was
like
70
with the
from the first,
radiation or
and
something
then-
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the with
110.
radiation is
It
110.
was 110. Yeah.
It was
It was
110.
70
all those
immediately.
people that died.
Okay.
after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to say, and I want your guys' point of view from this, I'm happy that they did not show the bombings in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not about
So
that.
am I.
It's about
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, and again, that's where the whole perspective thing came in, because, like you said, Josh, it is a biopic after all. And I feel like a lot of people strayed away from that thought; they forgot about that. And you're right, but to bring it back to the idea that they kind of did show it after that speech, dude, when he steps on that body and he goes right fucking through it, dude, and then the screaming and stuff. So like they didn't have to show the bomb. Like we have been taught about it throughout like high school. Like we know how fucked up all of that was. So like I'm glad that they didn't. And then again, to the extent though that they did. So
And this is also
I
you
liked-
got to think
I
it's
liked
like
how
an
they
anti-nuke
balanced it.
movie.
Yeah, I liked how it didn't feel like it was patriotic, but it
Mhm.
also didn't villainize the United States too bad. It did a good job of kind of hitting
In the
the middle
middle.
of the road
Staying
there.
neutral.
yeah, definition of a rock
I
in a
agree.
hard place. Because again, it all does come down to if we didn't drop that nuke, who was going to drop that first fucking nuke, dude?
Imagine it would be us. Someone would drop a nuke on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean,
And-
I don't know. I mean, obviously it is what it is, but I mean, I just think that they hit that situation that they had. I mean, I'm glad that they went through all different scenarios. Like, do we drop it now? Do we tell them? They said that they tried to demonstrate it twice for Japan. They wanted nothing to do with it.
Who
Yeah.
was the president at the time
How
that dropped it?
Yeah,
Truman.
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 Played
So
by
then
Gary
that's when we
Oldman.
get.
So can we talk about the scene really quick?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, the
basically
Oval
calling him
Office.
a pussy.
Yeah,
Which is
and
real.
then-
He actually said this shit.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No way.
Truman was a
Well,
dick about it.
Yeah,
And
he
the
was
best
the
part
villain
is,
there.
Truman didn't even fucking know we had any of this shit going on because he was just VP.
Nah.
Fucking Roosevelt kept him in the dark about it until Roosevelt died, and then Truman was like, "We have fucking what being made?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not something you want to share with a lot of people. You know, the more you
No.
can compartmentalize it, the better, for sure.
But yeah, no. So
You'd think the
Oppenheimer
VP would
goes
be
in
in
there
on the
and
loop.
he's trying to like congratulate him, and he wants nothing to do with it. He's like,
Yeah.
I just feel like I got blood on my hands, and that's
And
after
then
that scene.
he hands him the
Handkerchief.
handkerchief.
Then he goes, "Get this sissy scientist out of my office."
Yeah.
Well,
No, he
too,
That's
said-
when
but he-
Dylan started cracking up, man.
Yeah, that's who Dylan wants to sound like, man.
Yeah.
I turned to Brian. I go, dude, I think that's Gary Oldman because you can tell from the eyes.
I
The
couldn't
accent
even
is
tell.
great.
Like Josh said it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, maybe it is."
Yeah, so I looked it up
Yeah.
after the fact, but yeah,
But that's
I was
why
like, dude, I think
it
it's
paints
him.
Americans so bad, 'cause he's like, we don't give a shit about no Nagasaki.
Yeah.
God
He
damn
said
it.
Hiroshima.
Yeah, I was like,
Hiroshima.
oh my god! But
Which
that's when
is-
I realized that it's literally an anti-nuke movie.
Mhm.
Like I don't
Yeah.
think they I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Like painted a good picture. Like, oh, look at what the United States did. Look at this. Look at that. It's literally like, look at what we did and look at what we started. Like we
Yeah,
fucked
they
the
definitely
entire
no,
world.
I mean,
look at what
absolutely.
we started. Like that,
And-
we are living
and-
in this world.
That's what makes it
At
so
any-
fucking good.
There was like I think it was like the DOD or someone did a study, and it would take 300 nukes to make Earth no longer habitable by any species.
Yep, and I think
So-
we have about what thousands of nukes
We have around
ready on hand.
6,000.
Yeah.
So
And
300,
every country has
300
just
and
the
not
same
even like a
amount.
lizard could walk around. Not even Zuck could walk around.
Drive.
Could walk around on the Earth, and we have like
Jesus, man.
6,000 ourselves. That's I think what the end of this movie kind of showed, that like, yeah,
Nuclear
okay, you can call it
holocaust.
world peace, but it's like at like
what
I don't know,
cost?
probably 10 minutes we're all gone. Everything's gone. Everything ever created is just destroyed, eliminated, didn't exist. It
You
would
know
take
what?
like 10 minutes.
You know what I think of when you say that is like, this sounds really weird here, but like all of like the world leaders just like in a circle, just pointing a gun at the back of like each other's heads, and just like
Well, that's what
if
it would
one
be.
fucking-
That's
if
exactly
one
what it
goes
would be.
off, everybody goes off, and that's kind of what that reminds me of. You know, like if imagine like someone crazy enough to drop a fucking nuke, like Kim Jong Un,
Yeah.
like he could literally do that shit any second.
At
right
any
now.
second.
And honestly, everybody would die because of one fucking dumbass like that.
Yeah.
I think it was 2017 where I think the UN held like a meeting to vote to get rid of nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
I think
They
it's
tried.
should.
yeah, two of the
They said,
yeah.
yeah, sure, let's get rid of them. Fucking-
Yeah.
The U.S.
They
is
just
like,
don't, yeah, they don't touch them at all. They
but the
just-
Well,
problem
that's the
with that
thing,
is,
though.
is the U.S. goes, yeah, sure, and China goes, yeah, sure, and
yeah, they're all
Russia
crossing
goes, oh,
their
yeah.
fingers behind their backs. Yeah, yeah,
It's just
sure.
fucking like Ireland throwing away the one nuke that they've made.
But what is there
Yeah.
like? But I mean, you got to think this is 80 years ago. Like, what do they have now that's bigger than the fucking?
Oh,
nuke?
they
There's got to
have-
be something bigger.
They have
than that.
COVID-19.
but they can't even
What
try.
do you mean? They have COVID-19.
All right, no, we're not going to talk about that here.
Got it.
Yeah, cut
Got
that.
it.
We're not getting political. Honestly, God, though,
They're
it would not
taking
surprise.
Hey, no, but I will be honest, Aiden. You do ask, what do they have? Now it's biochemical warfare.
Yeah,
Like
oh, yeah.
legit, like what
It's
we saw in
even,
Modern
like-
Warfare. Like it's terrible. Like that's the shit.
Yeah, that.
Because it'll take over quicker and it won't ensure mass destruction like that. You know,
Dude,
the
if
way that a
any-
nuke would.
they could just cut the power grid in the United States, and the fucking United States would be
Yeah,
nothing.
actually,
The Wi-Fi,
they did
bro,
it.
we're
No
fucked.
TikTok.
That's
And
they
people
did a
fucking
study
lose
on
their
that
mind.
too. No
It'd be an
power
EMP.
in America would kill off if we had no power. Like grid gets shut off for 30 days. You want to take a guess at what percentage of the population dies
Probably
here?
75.
Yeah, I was going to say 75.
66. So
Yeah.
damn near
Wow.
close. 30
Yeah.
days it would take to lose 2/3 of the entire United States population.
Well, bro,
That's
imagine,
insane, man.
I mean, and
imagine
most
like
peop-
20, 30-year-olds living on their own. Like, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do
It's-
without
it's not even-
like,
it's not
imagine
even-
us living on our own.
No, I know it's not even that, Mike. It's not even like right now. Like our power goes out. It's like, I can't charge my phone. The problem is like go 14 days. Water's not being pumped
You
anymore.
can't spend your money that's in the bank.
Yeah, like you can't even
Your cards
you can't
aren't
flush.
working.
You can't flush the toilet. You can't go to the sink. You can't that's when you get a problem when people can't drink
Hey.
and eat.
And guess what I'm doing? I'm making an outhouse. I'm raising chickens. I'm going on the back of my truck and I'm fucking shielding up with a fucking BB gun, looking for squirrels to fucking eat.
I've been
Man,
digging
I'm
in my
doing
backyard,
everything.
man. I'm already 20 feet deep. For the bunker.
Jesus, man.
No, another
no.
part of the movie too that we haven't really talked about was the hearings for Oppenheimer, and what essentially is a
Now
mini
it
little
makes
office.
sense because it's like full circle. Didn't we technically see that at the beginning where he was sitting there? We didn't know what the
Yeah,
fuck was
we
going
just
on.
haven't. I don't think we just mentioned it ourselves.
Oh, okay.
But Jason Clark, the guy basically interrogating
Good
them.
ass
Oh,
job.
he looked like
Amazing.
Chandler Bing.
Oh
I
my
thought that was
God.
Chandler
Yeah,
Bing.
he
at
did a
first,
good
dude.
ass job.
He
man.
pissed me off. He
Yeah.
legit pissed me off.
Oh yeah, but he did incredible. And two,
So good.
everyone they're interviewing throughout the movie, and then they come back to it at the end, like with Groves, like those scenes, and then obviously Emily Blunt steals it. Like this is like that's her scene.
Yeah.
Every actor has like an incredible scene. That's
You
her
know,
scene.
I was wondering because, like you said, like literally, I was just about to say that, Josh. All these actors and actresses are fucking incredible, and I was sitting there wondering, I'm like, there's no way they let her sit here and look stupid this whole time. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
she's just portraying what happened in real life, but I was like, there's no way you get this high grade of an actress and just not let her have her moment. And when she had it, dude, oh my god, I love
So
it.
good, it pays off.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really underwhelmed by her performance up until that point.
I'd agree.
That kind of reeled me back in 100%. Like if that scene wasn't there alone, like I think you could have casted someone else to like just be like nonchalant in that role. Like obviously, I love seeing Emily Blunt; she's a great actress. But like, it almost seemed like too low a role for her. Almost.
well, and they
up until
kind
that
of
point.
they keep
No, but I
hitting you
think
over the
she's
head
good,
too
though.
that she's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Numerous
Yeah, it
times
was
throughout the
implied,
movie.
especially from the beginning when they first have to hand up. What was the baby's name? Teddy? Was it Teddy, or am I making that up? But they like hand away the first kid because he has to be
Yeah.
busy, and because she's
To the-
piss ass drunk as soon as he walks in, and then he's just a dick. You know, and all these moments you're like, why isn't the husband just nice? Because he's been like, are you okay? Instead,
He's a dick.
Yeah.
cheating.
She tried to fucking fuck him
You gotta-
while their baby is fucking screaming and crying.
Yeah, but
She's
then
the dick.
you gotta take into consideration she was married and he stole her from her husband.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Hey, be
Yeah,
careful,
she's
man.
married
He's
what
a-
4 times?
Yeah, 4 times.
Hey, don't
Like
leave your
29
girl around
years.
Appy. I promise you that.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game, man. If you get your
Yeah.
bitch taken, whatever.
That's
Hey,
it.
if your
That's
bitch got
the
taken,
story
I
of
promise
AZ.
you,
The
Oppenheimer
most
was
important
right
man
there.
in history.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Man.
but then we get to that trial. We see all them. I mean, it's not an interrogation, but it basically is. It's a legal interrogation.
Yeah, it was an
uh,
unfair fight.
And his poor
Yeah,
lawyer
so
has
then-
what, a notepad, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
because
thought his-
everything's classified. We can't give you
Yeah.
any of the
I thought his
information.
lawyer did a good job. Whoever that was that played him. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we get that. Then we see the actual trial. We already basically talked about Rami
Yeah, I
Malek
kinda gave
going
up.
in, doing all that stuff, stealing the show. Just like you said with Emily Blunt, he's too quiet to himself. You don't see him like say anything on camera. Then he just fucking explodes. And
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Well, too, even in the hearing himself, he's sitting there, and this is very close to the end. It's the same thing from that speech after the bomb happened, where it's like turning white and he's getting screamed at and everything like that, and that whole same effect. So I really like that part too,
Yeah.
a lot from the.
And we
the
also
questions.
didn't mention, just before we get out of this part, when they're talking about how Oppenheimer cheated on Kitty, then the camera pans to the full body shot. He's just sitting there butt ass
Yeah,
naked.
just getting fucked, dude. Oh my god. That was so
And,
out of
you
pocket.
see Florence Pugh
That
hop
was
on
out
him
of
while
pocket. That was
Kitty's
out of
just
pocket.
imagining it. But it's
And
great
she-
because you don't
at the
even
end
know.
of that, at the end of that, really quick, Florence Pugh just dead ass stares right in front of into
Yeah.
Kitty's eyes. Imagine
Yeah.
like acting that, let alone.
But
But it didn't happen. But just imagine like acting that. I could not keep a straight face.
But that's
Yeah,
the thing about
no.
this movie. Like, I've only seen it once, and you guys have seen it a couple times. But like it's all about perspective. So like in that scene before she hops on, Kitty's staring down at the floor.
What do you mean by
and then-
hops on?
You know what I mean.
Oni.
Kitty's staring down at the floor, and then right when she looks up, that's when the camera pans, and then you see it from her perspective. You know, picturing Florence Pugh's character. You know, them cheating on or with each other on Kitty.
Aiden doesn't know about that. That was his first experience seeing that. So first time seeing that. That's how that's how babies are made. That's how babies are made. You didn't know
What?
Damn, this movie is fucking. I learned a lot watching this.
that. But we didn't
I
talk
learned more
about the
in
whole.
3 hours than I did in 18 years.
We didn't talk about the whole plot that RDJ's character Strauss and then that guy we see in all of like the comic book movies. David, I don't know how to say his last name. The guy that's Borden. Plays Borden, the black-haired guy that took the files and wrote the report, even though he didn't write the report.
Oh.
David.
Come on, guys! It's a
Yes,
big point of the
oh,
movie.
You're talking
Polka
about
Dot
the.
It's a.
Shut the fuck up!
Polka
Hang
Dot
on, hang on,
Man.
hang on, hang on. It's the guy.
He's
from,
an Ant-Man.
It's the guy from
I don't know
Dark
his-
Knight
I-
that's going
I don't
crazy.
know
I
his
literally just
real
said
name.
it.
Oh.
It's David Dasmo. I don't know how to say it. Dasmalchian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Brees.
Fun fact. So everyone
Writes the
doesn't know.
report, yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know what he's
He
talking
didn't
about,
mean
you've
that.
seen The Dark Knight. He's in the back of that car with Gordon, and he's about to kill Gordon.
Exactly.
And then Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne whips the
He's in a
Lambo
bunch
in
of
front of
movies,
him.
in Prisoners.
Ah, great scene.
He gets put in the ambulance too. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he's in Prisoners. James Gunn, Suicide Squad. He's an Ant-Man. He's in all those movies.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, guys! You should know. Like
We
I'm
were
talking
I didn't
about
know his
Gordon.
last name off the top of my head.
How
Yeah.
have we not done Prisoners yet? What?
Regardless,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that whole point where, or that whole kind of plot here where, like Strauss pretty much fakes those reports for Borden. Borden doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Pretty much,
Fucking
he's
Gordon.
yeah, Gordon,
Gordon.
Yeah.
Borden.
Gordon.
But then we all get to the end where you get the flashback of, you know, Oppenheimer meeting Einstein with Strauss out in the field. Einstein's hat blows off. He goes, Oppenheimer picks it up, gives it to him. And, you know, I don't know what he said exactly, but he mentioned because
What?
we see that he met with him with the calculations prior to them meeting with Strauss. And
I remember.
he goes, you know
I
those
remember.
calculations I gave you? Go ahead.
It was just essentially him being like, remember the calculation
I
I gave you?
have the
Because
quote right here.
there was a very possible chance when they first got to Los Alamos that they possibly could not only blow up what they intended, but also catch the whole atmosphere on fucking fire. Like, it would be a chain reaction, as they said. And it would be a chain reaction, destroy the whole fucking world. So they were having
Yes.
Einstein do
That would
that.
be a problem.
then-
we didn't,
Yeah,
we didn't
so-
repeat.
Here's the, I got the quote right here.
Let's
ready?
hear it, Joshua.
When I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that might destroy the entire world. And then Einstein says, "Yes, I remember. What of it?" And then Oppenheimer pans it on his face. He goes, "I believe we did." And then the movie ends.
And then it says,
and just
Oppie
reading
will
it,
Ends with
return.
the score.
just reading it,
Yeah.
yeah, with the score, just reading it. And I'll put the score there as I read it, so you believe that I'm Oppenheimer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Put it
yeah.
in the YouTube
You
version.
can look
too.
like
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
yeah, I got you. I hear
Looks
that a
like
lot.
someone else we can't say on this, but
Yeah. Whatever that means. Is it Johnny Sins?
Ken.
Yeah, Ken, yeah. No, I think like that whole scene gave me chills. I'm sure it did to you guys too,
Dude.
like goosebumps.
Oh
like
my God.
even seeing it the second time, reading the fucking, you know, the quote itself, like it's such a powerful and good ending to, you know, the Cold War, which eventually happens, and then, you know, in modern times now. I mean, you know, any day now something crazy could happen like that, and you never know.
Well,
and
think
they're,
about
and
it.
they're talking about,
2020.
hey,
yeah.
hey, I drop nukes every day, but it's in my fucking toilet.
So in 2020, when that fucking fake scare went off in Hawaii, like even that
Yeah.
was fucking
Yeah.
insane. Like that fake scare went off, like they accidentally sent the wrong alert to everyone in
Fuck.
Hawaii, and everyone in
I
Hawaii
forgot
thought they
about
were
that.
fucking dead, dude. Like everyone went sprinting away. Like that was insane.
Someone
Yeah.
had a case of the Mondays. Eh? Definitely didn't want to go to work.
Yeah, that motherfucker got fired instantly,
Not
man.
even a bomb threat, fucking nuke threat.
Yeah, because they thought it for a few minutes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it went on
on
for-
for like
Yeah.
3 minutes or something like that, long enough
Wow.
for the whole island, or like all the islands to be in panic mode.
Yeah, I think I'd actually have a heart attack.
But no, that ending scene. I mean, it's so good because all he's worried about, like even at the beginning when you see him staring at the, the pond or whatever, the puddle, and you're seeing all those raindrops go in. You're just seeing like all those different like chain reactions and stuff. You see that at the end when he says that to Einstein, and then it does all that fast editing with the score on the back, like on top of it, and then you're just seeing the world like in a ring of fire, all these nukes in the air. He's like picturing himself on that plane that dropped the bomb, and he's like going, he's just seeing it.
And I think that's again, you can hear screaming.
It all happens so fast, dude. I cannot wait to watch this movie like at home and pause it at like different points because it's gonna be insane.
And they don't even talk about Strauss at all, too. By the way,
yeah,
he's not mentioned once.
No,
not
Oppenheimer
once.
doesn't give a shit about him.
He said something. He turned all the scientists against me, and it's like, no, they're all smart ass motherfuckers that see a puppet master before the puppet master even announces themselves.
Yeah, that's a community you shouldn't be messing with. They're all a bunch of geniuses.
The fact that he's going out of his way to spite Oppenheimer for humiliating him like that just shows the kind of character he is. And
again, RDJ was so good at that fucking role, dude. I wanted to hate him for a second. I had to rewatch an Avenger movie with Iron Man just to love him again.
I think him and Killian will both get like Oscars for sure. I really do.
Yes, they should.
With like Dune 2 getting delayed and everything like that, I feel like they're the runner-ups to.
You know it's going to be heartbreaking. You know it's going to be heartbreaking. I feel like RDJ is going to get nominated over fucking Killian if they don't do both.
Killian. I think Killian. If I could bet on it right now, I'm sure
I want Killian too. Don't get me wrong.
I bet he wins Best Actor.
Let me get a plus 400 parlay of
I'm guessing
RDJ and.
No, this movie's definitely gonna win a bunch of awards. I don't know about a bunch, but I doubt it's gonna get snubbed.
Do you think it'll win when we do our first ever end of the year Small Guys Awards? Or we hand out our.
I mean, we still. You gotta think we got
Transformers. We got Spider-Man this year.
This is the first of many. This is the first big movie, like big directors that we like. I mean, we still got that David Fincher movie. We still have Scorsese dropping, and we still have, or I guess Denis Villeneuve isn't dropping because Dune got delayed.
Yeah,
but, I think Scorsese's movie is the only one that can compete for best motion picture. To be honest.
Yeah, The Killer's gonna be good as hell.
Killer's gonna be good.
I'm really excited. Fucking Fast 10.
I think we got good ass movies.
I think Matt Damon should at least be nominated for Best Supporting Actor too.
He could possibly.
Dude, I'm sure. There's a chance Emily Blunt gets nominated too. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I think there's a chance. Yeah, you never know.
Long enough, dude.
And the committee's gonna watch this movie, and Florence Pugh's gonna win Best Supporting Actor.
If I'm on the board, she's winning.
Brian, I'm saying that too. Like, don't take this lightly. Like, again, like, I respect Matt Damon and like Matthew McConaughey as like two great actors, but I'm not like just huge on them. And I think Matt Damon absolutely fucking killed this role.
And he killed it. I don't know if it's nomination worthy. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's gonna be nominated. That's just me.
He probably
nominations or whatever. He doesn't deserve to win, but he deserved to get nominated.
They nominate like 12 people, Brian, for that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So there's a chance.
Yeah, but Jason Momoa, bro, in Fast 10, that's my guy.
He's not supporting actor though. He's
he's the main villain.
You guys ready to get into scores?
Yeah.
All right. You want me to start
us off, buddy?
Start us off,
sure.
Please.
I'm about to drop a nuke on you guys with this score. We're gonna go with a
2 million.
All right.
We're gonna go with a 99 out of 100. I was so close to giving this a perfect score, but I can't.
Don't.
So you like this and Interstellar evenly, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean 100%. I feel like even though they're both by Nolan, I feel like you can't compare the two. You know, like I mean, they're just. This is a biopic. If this is like. If I could pick a movie that took place off of like, real life events, I would say that this is like top 5 for sure. But I mean, I've only seen it once, and we had a shitty, like we spoke about at the Dome, shitty experience. But this is one of those movies like it's 3 hours long, and I can't wait till I get a free day to go to the theater and go watch it on a flat screen. But there's really nothing I can nitpick out of this movie. I think every single actor and actress did a great ass job. And it's literally a movie about the creation of the nuke, and you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. You can go read a book about this and learn everything in the history, or at a museum or some shit, and then you go and watch this movie. Like, it's just crazy. I feel like no other director could have taken this story and like this idea, this point in history, and made it as good as Christopher Nolan. So I feel confident.
Who directed Barbie?
Greta.
Greta Thorne.
Okay, they could have done it.
Not the fucking. I always wanted to
She
say
could've
the what was the
Climate
Green Planet?
activist?
Yes, her. That was writing letters to Ted K. What was her? Greta Thornberg.
Yeah.
So I got a really dumb question, and you guys can roast me. People listening can roast me.
Yes, this was.
I don't know
a
if
true
it's
story.
dumb or
Take a
not.
second
This
to
was
rethink
this
if
was
you
a
should
true
ask this or
story,
you
Mike.
shouldn't.
Yes.
Yeah, and that whatever you are about to say will not get edited out under any circumstance.
And it
So-
only reflects you, none of us.
No, like I'm just curious now, like just like watching this here, what are people's viewpoints on Oppenheimer now? Like
Oh,
like today, like
That's a good
It's
question.
funny because I kept saying to Josh, like, they were like, what are they going to do in the future? And I leaned over to Josh and go, he's going to get a movie in 2023 by one of the best directors around.
Did you
Okay.
really say that in like the 9th grade?
No, I said
No, he
that.
didn't.
No, I
He's
said that.
fucking-
No, I said that during the movie. I leaned over to Josh and I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause-
he's going to get a really good movie
And
made about
Kitty
it.
goes up to him and she's like, "You're gonna let them tar and feather you and blame you for this," and he's like, "I think it'll work out." And then that's when Brian said it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
And two, we didn't
uh,
mention really quick. We didn't mention the JFK thing
I was,
at all.
dude, I was just
good
gonna
one,
say
bro.
that.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary for the movie.
This guy's
I
trying
thought
to make a
that kinda
name
took me
for
out a second.
himself. Hello,
Yeah.
Hey, they're making
John F. Kennedy.
they're making the Oppenheimer verse.
Yeah, my
It's
favorite
kinda-
part was
yeah.
when they dropped the bomb and he goes, "It's Oppie time."
God, bro. Well, what? How do people view him?
No, I
Is
mean,
it
if you,
mixed?
I feel like it's
obviously it was
probably
mixed,
mixed.
but before the book came out, obviously like people thought of him as like a hero, but no one knew that backstory of him.
Well,
you know,
this
like
was
the shit that
before
they
it
show
was
here.
found out that, again, what was heavily pushed was the thought that Japan was going to fight to the death, and they were going to go until there was literally nobody left to fight for them. In reality, Japan was ready to fucking wipe their hands clean. They dropped that first bomb. Japan didn't respond quick enough because they were really done after that first bomb. They didn't respond quick enough, and that second bomb was dropped. And in that
Yeah, because
sense,
what was it?
though,
3 days later, Brian?
Yeah, it was 3 days.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 days. I was gonna say maybe 4, but one of
You
those.
didn't think one would do the trick?
No, they had to be like, hey,
It was to show them that we had another.
Yeah, exactly. And then the idea would be we could keep doing this and doing this
Yeah.
and doing this until there is nothing left if you do not want to give up. Because America went fucking crazy. It's like someone had roid rage with bombs, essentially. And they were just going nuts.
Give me a sec.
So that's why, though,
Sorry about that.
when you say it like that, I think that's why when it comes to Oppenheimer, the idea is that, yes, he created the bomb, but he also did have this ideology that he's a scientist, dude. He's not in it to fucking hurt people. He's not in it to fucking kill innocent people. He's there to do his fucking job. And then I feel like the blame just gets pushed on to America at that point as a
Yeah.
whole, like Truman, whoever the fuck you want to blame at that point.
So Brian, with that, give us a score.
With that being said, I fucking love Christopher Nolan. It's a great biopic. Again, it's a 3-hour biopic. I'm glued to my seat. You don't get that, dude. Like, name another director doing that for you. I got to give it a 98, dude. Because Aiden's right. I'm excited to rewatch this again. It is a little hard. I'm going to have to carve out a 3-hour mark, but I definitely want to rewatch this again. When it's in theaters, I'm going to wait for the hype to die down. Like I said, I got the other 70 millimeter just fucking 15 minutes away from me. I can go there hopefully in 2 weeks because I tried to go this week and all the days that would work for me, all the times, sold out. It won't even let you click on the app. It's all sold out.
Well, so Brian, we just did Interstellar. Go listen to that if you haven't. But this is now in your top 3 then, right?
Yeah, technically it would be. And actually, I think I panicked on my score with Interstellar because the more time I sat with it, I rewatched half of it again. There's no way I
92 was a
should.
little low.
92 was low. It definitely should have got it in the 98 range. I think these movies would be tied, in my opinion. One, Interstellar is an amazing movie. And then again, like I said, this is a 3-hour biopic where I didn't want to fucking leave my chair. Like, I knew the story and I didn't want to leave. So I would tie those. And then, yeah, that's unfortunate, Josh. I was going to say that this would be bumped out of my top 3. Nolan, or Dark Knight would be bumped out of my top 3.
Criminal.
Unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Solid.
It had to be done. Because, again, you're not topping the Prestige.
good.
Oof. But, yeah, 98.
I need to watch
That's an awful take, Brian. In my, not awful, but like that's.
Brian, that's a great take.
Thank you, Aiden.
Ah,
No,
that.
no,
Brian,
man.
Mike,
Yep.
let's hear the score.
Tell me how
Okay,
dumb.
I'm
Go
gonna-
into it.
No, I'm gonna give this a 97 out of 100. I really love this movie. Christopher Nolan, in my opinion, is well on his way to being the GOAT director of all time. If not, he's already there, in my opinion. We talked about it pretty much here. This cast is just fucking out of this world. And honest to God, like every time I watch Nolan movies, I'm so excited to see cameos of like actors we love. I think that's one thing that's like awesome about his movies is like just seeing. I know it's a shitty like a shitty thing to like look for, but like it's cool to see like that excitement, like, oh my god, I know him. I think that plays a big part into just like the charisma of a lot of his movies and just movies in general, and I think that elevates a lot of the storylines and just the little tidbits that you kind of just see. But like Brian said, like 3 hours, we already know what happens, glued to our seats. I don't know what more you can ask for, honestly. So this movie was beautiful, and just besides like the first, shitty viewing experience, the second time around was just as good, man. So no complaints on my end. Awesome job, Christopher Nolan. Cillian Murphy absolutely killed it. RDJ, everybody just dubbed all around.
Yeah.
Very nice, Mike. I'll go next. Let Josh finish us off here. I think we covered a lot of what we got to say here. Nolan does he does good work. He doesn't seem to really do bad work. We mentioned it on the Interstellar review. Listen, it's a little less chaotic than this one. One of our better episodes, I think, that we've done with all of us. And on that one, we were saying like the scores on that movie were pretty low. They didn't make a lot of sense. This movie, I feel like they make a little bit more sense. Like I think they're in the mid to low 90s, which is where I'm gonna go a little higher than them. I'm gonna go with a 96 on this movie. Josh, let's hear what you got. What's your score?
Honey.
I'm gonna give the movie a 97. I really enjoyed it. Sorry to mess up the order there.
Hey, twins, Josh.
Yeah, it's in my top 3 Nolan movies now. I think I'd go The Dark Knight, Interstellar, and then Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed this movie. I was worried seeing it for the second time just because I wasn't sure with the 3 hours if it would drag at all or anything like that, especially since I had just seen it like 2 days prior. But I enjoyed it even more the second time around. Maybe it's because I was watching it on an actual movie screen. That could help.
No, it's because you didn't get caught taking a picture of Florence Pugh this time.
Yeah, this time I had the flash off. I really enjoyed it, and I think Nolan almost ruined biopics because there's nothing that will probably top this in that kind of
everyone's
genre.
Got to step it up.
Yeah, he nailed it. So, and the fact that he read the I think it's the American Prometheus, right? Is that what the book's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just read the book and.
Well, if you guys remember in Tenet, he had a whole like scene where they're kind of like mentioning Oppenheimer and doing all that.
Yeah, so the fact that he just went out and made a movie about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it was an incredible movie. I don't know. It's awesome. It'll probably end up being maybe our favorite movie of the year. We'll have to see at the end of the year when we do our top 10 movies and everything like that.
Spider-Verse is taking the cake for me. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I so far for me, I'll say we're only halfway through the year, a little past halfway. I think this is my favorite movie of the year so far, and it'll be hard to top. So we'll see what else comes next. I know we mentioned earlier some of the movies that are coming that we're excited about. So
when we're talking about like top Christopher Nolan movies, I think we have a little bit of recency bias here, kind of ranking this. This is a great movie, and I think we'll think that. But I want to see our opinions in like a year or two from now, when our feelings for this movie subside, because I have a feeling that a lot of you guys will put this out of your top 3. In my opinion, as great as this movie is, I just think that like for our interests and what we like, it's just not gonna like stay in that top 3. Like that love for this movie.
Now I'm
Mike,
making
I
it
will
a
say,
mission to keep it.
I will say I've gone to see movies in movie theaters before more than once. I think the last time I probably did it though was either Top Gun last year, which was my favorite movie of the year, or maybe before that it was probably Endgame, which was also 3 hours. But I think with the movie podcast that we do, where we're seeing new movies every week, it's really hard for us to go see a movie twice in the movie theater, let alone that's 3 hours long. But I think something like this kind of event, and the fact that I did see it for the second time and enjoyed it even more, I'm pretty confident this one will stay in my top 3. But who knows? Maybe his next movie bumps that out of my top 3. I don't know. I hope. He's going to obviously keep making movies, and we're going to keep watching him. And he's one of the best directors alive. So
dude, he's got so many more movies that he's going to make
of all time. But
it's insane.
Well, yeah.
No,
I'm gonna say this.
That, Mike.
I'm gonna say
personally,
this.
I've always been intrigued on World War II and like the history on that entire that entire subject. Like reading all about it, watching all the movies, like doing all that stuff. and you go and watch this movie, and you already know what happens. But especially like we didn't really mention at the Trinity test, we all know that bomb is successful, but you still think that something's gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like you're literally watching it like
My
something's
hands were
gonna go
sweating
wrong.
both times I saw
Yeah,
the movie. I was
but
nervous
you-
both times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just Nolan pulling you in, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just insane, man. And I think that personally, like, I don't like rewatching movies all the time, but I can see myself rewatching this movie multiple times,
And enjoying it.
Yeah.
enjoying it
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
time, just like Interstellar.
Yeah.
I think from like a full population, like this is like on par for Interstellar for a lot of people, but just because of my love for sci-fi, like Interstellar wipes its ass with this movie in my opinion. And I look for you guys, it's gonna be a bold take as like movie lovers.
Nope.
But that's
Well, no,
I'm with you.
I
on
mentioned that
take,
you can't
Mike.
compare the two.
I agree with
really.
that.
100%, but I'm just saying like as like a movie like objective. See, Josh, that's how you use the word objective here, okay?
Yeah, I think he was a
From-
little confused.
From an objective standpoint of just the movie itself, I think they're on par with how good they are of a movie. But in terms of just like interest, like I said, Interstellar wipes his ass with this movie.
Well, thanks for tuning in to
Subjectively,
Small
you like it
Guys. You know,
better.
we love you
Subjectively.
guys. We're
Subjectively.
gonna get on out of here. You know, the movie's 3 hours long. We just gave you half the movie essentially.
Someone's
Runtime
gotta
here. We love you
Yeah,
guys. Thank you for tuning in. Go get your ass in
Yeah,
the
appreciate
theater.
it.
Don't go to the dome unless you want. If you're my height, it'll work for you. Get there a little early. Get a good spot.
If you like
Yeah.
reading books,
You know-
this movie's based on American Prometheus.
You know where to find us.
I bought the book
We got us.
a couple weeks ago, and I think I'm gonna start it tonight.
He's not gonna read it, so
Yeah. I'll rent
All
it
right.
out to you if you
All
want
right,
to
See you guys.
all right. Love you guys.
We'll be back
we'll see you
with
next
Barbie
week.
on Friday.
Barbie.
And we're doing Swiss Army Man on Tuesday.
Someone
so-
sing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
All right, peace
Yeah.
out.